Before we get into today's episode, I want to invite you to experience the Awakened Anesthetist podcast live and in person. For our season 5 finale, I'll be recording live on stage at the Quad A annual conference in Denver, Colorado with our current Quad A president, Emily Mysick. This won't be a policy interview or a Quad A update. It's a process-style conversation focused on the person behind the presidency and reminding all of us that meaningful impact inside this profession is made by real people who once stood exactly where you stand. Afterwards, Rad and Ceci from Harmony Anesthesia will join us to host a live audience Q&A, creating space for our awakened anesthetist community to engage in real time. Season 5 has been supported by Harmony Anesthesia, and if you're curious about working with them, you can schedule your free 15-minute consultation linked in the show notes. And if you'll be at Quad A 2026, I hope you'll join us for the live finale. Welcome to the Awakened Anesthetist podcast, the first podcast to highlight the CAA experience. I'm your host, Mary Jean, and I've been a certified anesthesiologist assistant for close to 2 decades. Throughout my journey and struggles, I've searched for guidance that includes my unique perspective as a CAA. At one of my lowest points, I decided to turn my passion for storytelling and my belief that the CAA profession is uniquely able to create a life by design into a podcast. If you are a practicing CAA, current AA student, or someone who hopes to be one, I encourage you to stick around and experience the power of being in a community filled with voices who sound like yours, sharing experiences you never believed possible. I know you will find yourself here at the Awakened Anesthetist podcast. Welcome in. Welcome back to the Awakened Anesthetist podcast, where we expand our understanding of what's possible within the CAA profession. I'm your host, Mary Jean, a longtime practicing certified anesthesiologist assistant, an AA educator, and now a doctoral student focused on researching the art of anesthesia. This series is a slightly different perspective on our normal process episodes because it's really created for the ever-increasing number of pre-anesthesiologist assistants who are here and have found the Awakened Anesthetist podcast because they're searching for insight and some understanding of what their future will hold. And by the way, if that's you, I'm really glad you're here. This process series is a long-form passion project that I started in 2024, where I highlight the journey of one pre-anesthesiologist assistant as she applies, interviews, is accepted, and becomes a practicing CAA. This series was created with future CAAs in mind, so you can hear what this season actually feels like while you're in it too. And for those of us who are further along, it's an invitation to remember, to reconnect with that vulnerable stretch of time, wanting something deeply, but not yet knowing if it's going to happen, not yet knowing what school will hold, or if your CAA dreams will come true. This is the process of Britton Robinson, from pre-AA to practicing CAA. Let's dive in and see where she is on her journey to become a practicing certified anesthesiologist assistant.
As of right now, my dream school is Nova Tampa. I have a lot of friends who went to that program. I went to their open house. The campus is just beautiful. The amenities are top notch, which obviously isn't enough to pick a school in and of itself, but it's just an added bonus that it's right next to the water and the campus is beautiful. So I've always wanted to go there since I've known about AA. So that would be my first choice. Today is October 10th, 2024, and I am getting ready for my Auburn interview at VCOM.
I'm super excited, definitely very nervous, but more excited than nervous. This is my first interview, so I'm really looking forward to it, and my fingers are crossed that it goes well.
Today is October 10th, 2024, and I just finished my first AA school interview with VCOM Auburn. I thought the interview went pretty well. I was definitely nervous going into it. Of course, it was my first interview, but it helped whenever I was speaking with the other students that were there. They were talking about how they were nervous too, and we were just like chatting with each other, and that definitely helped my nerves a little bit. And then also once we finally got started with the actual interviews and I realized this is just a conversation, and that really put my nerves at ease. So it definitely went pretty well. And now I'm about to interview tomorrow at South Savannah, so it's pretty crazy having those back to back, but it definitely helps staying in the mindset of being interviewed. So yeah, I'm definitely a little nervous for tomorrow, but less nervous than I would be if I didn't have the interview today. It is the next day since we last spoke. It's October 11th, 2024, and I just finished up my interview at South Savannah. I thought it went pretty well. I thought I had some good conversations. It was definitely a lot. We had multiple interviews throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, we had a little trolley tour of Savannah, which I thought was really sweet and special and showed that they really cared about us, and we were able to ask plenty of questions to the second year students, which I really appreciated. Feeling good, leaving the interview, and now it's just a little bit of a waiting game to see what I hear back. But whatever happens, I'm just really thankful and proud of myself that I've made it this far. It's been a few days since my South Savannah interview. It is October 14th, 2024, and I just got a phone call from the program director that I got into South Savannah, so I am just over the moon. I'm so happy. I could not be more excited, and it's officially the start of knowing that I am an accepted SAA. So excited. Best day ever.
Today is October 15th, 2024, and today is nothing particularly special other than the fact that today was my first day working as an accepted future CAA. So that was really exciting, getting to go into work today as an anesthesia tech still, and knowing that before too long I'll be back as a student AA, and then hopefully in the future as a graduated CAA. So that was just really exciting, getting to tell everybody the news, and yeah, just getting to really see and now know this is for sure what I'm doing, and that goal is real.
Okay, and now share that you have received an acceptance letter and where, I don't want to put words into your mouth. You tell me, Britton.
Yes. So I was very fortunate to get accepted to South Savannah, South University in Savannah, Georgia. I have just been over the moon since I got that acceptance. So like I said, my interview was October 11th, and I found out that I had gotten accepted on October 14th. So that was really
Wow.
exciting to get the phone call from Chris Tyndall, the program director. I was in the middle of a class. And that whole class, it's a small class. There's like 30 of us. They all knew I had just interviewed. And so I left the room and I came back in and they're like, "Did you get the acceptance?" And everybody in the class
Aw.
clapped for me, and that was really special. And so I have just been so excited about that because South is just such an amazing school. So I don't know. South has not always like been on my radar because I never even thought I was going to get an interview, because I know that's like the South students are the like highest GPAs, highest test scores, most involvements. So it wasn't even on my radar. So now that I'm accepted, I have accepted my spot. I put my deposit down today. Um, but obviously I can always go back on that. I won't get my deposit back if I change my mind, but I want to have a secure spot and know that I'm going to be an AA. So
Yeah,
That's really
totally.
exciting. And if it doesn't work out with Tampa, I'm over the moon to be going to South Savannah. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that you're in the driver's seat, that you get to say, hey, this place really felt right. I thought it was going to be Nova Tampa. And at this time, you've not even received an interview yet. And who knows if that's because you're not going to receive one or because they've not moved forward in that way yet, like just the admissions
Yes.
process. It's
Yes.
so tricky to know.
I've been stalking the Discord every day, which is good and bad for my mental health. But from my understanding, they've only sent out one round of interview invites, and they were for the week of the hurricane, and they have not even been rescheduled yet. So it seems like they're a little slow with getting those interview invites out. So we'll see, but maybe I won't even get one at all. And maybe this is my plan to go
Yeah.
to South.
And tell an old CAA, do you know if you don't get an interview? Like, do they say you did not get an interview, or it's just like a process of you've waited and everyone else got an interview, so you now didn't?
It unfortunately is the latter. They wait until the class almost starts or has already started to go ahead and send out those emails that have said, we were not able to offer you a spot or an interview, or however they word it, which is kind of sad because it's like
Yeah.
you're waiting all this time, you put all this effort into it, and you don't even get an email until like March, April, May. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So,
Yes. I
okay.
will say there are some schools that will automatically screen you out. So I had a friend who told me he applied and he got denied that next day from South because they will automatically screen you out if your GRE isn't high enough or if your GPA isn't high enough, which is crazy. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Okay. So that's
cutthroat.
at least something. Yeah. Like they have some minimum bars you have to meet. That's like technical
Yes.
things. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we are still in the waiting period. How long do you think you will wait? When does South Savannah start class?
So as of now, I'm supposed to start in the middle of June in 2025. So that's a little bit later than other programs. I know the Nova campuses start in May. But yeah, I guess there's not really a like certain time where like will stop holding out hope. Probably around like January, I'd be like, or even December, I'll be like, yeah, I don't feel good about my chances at this school. Like, I'm going full throttle South Savannah. And I hate to say it like that because I don't want to make it seem like it's like my second choice, even though I did blatantly explicitly say that. It is just kind of like I'm just getting a feeler for it because also if I do interview at Nova Tampa and let's say I hate it and like I don't like the way that I felt during the interview, I didn't like the faculty, I didn't feel like I clicked. I think that that speaks a lot about how the program will be. And so the interview process has also been a lot of a learning experience for me getting to know the program and the faculty and what campus looks like.
Tell us a little bit about how you prepared for the interviews, and then I'm going to ask you anything you want to say about the actual interview. I think people would love to hear that. So, how did you prepare for these interviews?
So I am very fortunate to have a friend who just went through the interview process of AA school. She's in her first year right now. So she kind of gave me some tips of like, here's some questions that they might ask you. And I made a Quizlet. And so I had about 32 terms of a bunch of questions they could ask me. And I wrote all my answers in there so I would have it in my head. I think I did a little bit of overboard with the interview prep, but I wanted to be over prepared rather than under
Mhm.
prepared. And so I would have my boyfriend like ask me the interview questions. I'd have the computer screen pulled up and he would read me the questions and then I would practice answering them as if I were in an actual interview. And I also did the same thing with my friend Maddie. She called me on my way up and asked me questions.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh, Maddie, I love her. What a good
yes,
friend.
she's awesome. She's amazing. But yeah, and then I also listened to a few podcasts. I think there's a pre-med podcast that I just put on about interview tips, and I listened to that. And obviously it's a little bit different because it's from medical school, but it still helped me be prepared because those questions were over the top crazy. Like, what do you think about the Affordable Health Care Act? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm glad I didn't get asked anything like that. But that's how my prep went.
Awesome. Give us one question that was in your Quizlet.
Hmm. Okay, one that I didn't actually get asked, but I was prepared for is what would you do if your attending was telling you something that you didn't agree with for your patient? And that I thought was
Hmm.
a really interesting question. And honestly, don't really know my best answer, but I said that I would say the alternative route that I'm more comfortable doing and then explain why, and then ultimately still let the attending have the final decision. But it's very important to put the patient's needs first because you're going to be the one with the patient throughout the entire case. So I thought that, that
Hmm.
was an interesting question that somebody had asked me at work, and so I added it to my Quizlet.
Number one answer. I feel like good answer. Good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give us a little bit of just the logistics of the interview. And if they were really similar, maybe just give them both. But if you feel like they're really different, can you tell us the difference, of the interviews at VCOM Auburn and at South Savannah, correct? Or South
Yes.
Orlando?
No, South Savannah.
South
Yes.
Savannah. Okay.
Yes. They were very, very similar. There was like 10 of us at Auburn, VCOM Auburn, and then there was probably about like 15 at South Savannah. And they started with a little presentation in both cases where they talked about the school, Auburn, Savannah, the cities, a little bit of an overview about what the day was going to look like. And then in both cases, I think we broke immediately into interviews and we kind of ate lunch. For VCOM Auburn, we did like a working lunch kind of where we got Taco Mama, and then we had the second year students come in and we could talk to them, ask them questions. And we were able to do the same thing at South Savannah, except it wasn't during lunch. And it was more of a, like, it was a little bit more formal at Savannah with talking to the students. And then after that, at both places, at VCOM Auburn, they took us on a little bus tour of Auburn. And we did the same thing at South Savannah, where we took a trolley tour of Savannah. So I really enjoyed both those aspects of the interview because I felt like it gave me a good little like insight into what it would be like if I were to live there.
Wow. That's really a step up from what I experienced as an
It was
interviewee.
crazy.
That's cool. That's
I
awesome.
loved it.
Give us your highlight from the interview and maybe anything you wished you would have done better.
I think the highlight was I felt very prepared for all the questions that they asked me. I think I did a good job prepping, and there was nothing that really threw me for a loop. Um, I'm not sure that there's anything I would have done differently. I don't know if that's bad.
Yay!
But I just felt like they went really good. Um, I think one thing I would have done differently is maybe gotten to know the people who were interviewing with me because at the end of the day, these are the people that could be in your class for the next 2 years. So getting to know the other people there, I think would have been beneficial for me. I wish I had done that a little bit more.
Interesting. Was there any sort of communication between the interviewees or did it feel pretty competitive? Like, I'm not going to share my prep, questions or anything with you right now?
I didn't feel like it felt competitive at all. Like I felt like we were all there and we were like we're all going to do great. Especially at Auburn, like we were all together beforehand, cheering each other on, being like we're going to do great today. Like I love your outfit. You look so good. Like we're going to kill it today. Everybody really made me feel very comfortable and they really emphasized like you do not need to be stressed about today. Like we're getting to know you just as much as y'all are getting to know us.
Wow. Okay. So now, what immediately happened after that? Did you get any follow up? Were you told, hey, we'll contact you in so many days? Give us that information.
Yes. So South Savannah told me they said, we'll contact you early next week with either an acceptance, a denial, or a wait list. So instantly I'm like, that's a little freaky. And had my phone next to me all the next week. Auburn, I still haven't heard back from them, but I had thought that they had said that they would contact me the next week. Maybe I misunderstood. On their website, it says they'll contact me in the next 30 days. I'm still waiting to hear back about that. I'm still keeping my phone close to me at all times, waiting for
Yes.
that phone call.
What if you get the call
But
right now?
that would be crazy. That would be insane. But my phone is on Do Not Disturb.
Okay. I love that we're going to get to walk with you through this process. It's going to be very interesting to watch you go through this because I don't want I don't want to say anything, but I think the program is hard for everyone. I just am excited to walk this journey with you for lots and lots of reasons, Britton. Okay, let's lay out your goals over the next 6 months. Like, let's say we don't check in for another 6 months. What do you hope has happened by then?
So the goal that I'm really pushing towards right now is graduating magna cum laude at FSU. I really want to keep my GPA in the range that it is right now so that I can be magna cum laude, because that's just a personal goal of myself that I just want to be able to say that I graduated with that. So just working really hard in the classes that I'm in right now, keeping my grades up, and then hopefully I'll have some more acceptances at that point as well. That would be really exciting, and just overall happiness. I'm happy how I am now, and I just hope that I get to continue being happy in my life right now.
Love it. All right. Well, we will check in 6 more months. And if you're listening to this, you just like fast forward probably to the next episode. And it's that wonderful binge experience where you just get to fast forward through Britton's life.
It's going to be
In
crazy.
what, 2028 when this all
Yeah.
is done.
It's been a couple of weeks since my interviews at VCOM and at South Savannah, and I just got a phone call. Today is October 22nd, 2024, and I just got a phone call that I got accepted to VCOM Auburn. So I'm very, very excited about that. Now I've not only gotten into one school, but 2 schools, which I'm just so lucky to have the choice. But I do think I'm going to decline at VCOM. I haven't said anything yet. Obviously, we just had the phone call, but I just really could see myself at South, and I just really loved that school and really fell in love with it. Not that VCOM wasn't also amazing, I just could see myself more at South. So I still need to email back and let VCOM know that I won't be coming so that they can open that spot for somebody else. But I still am so happy to have now gone into 2 schools.
Thanks for listening to Awakened Anesthetist. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a CAA friend, an AA student in your life, or a prospective, and let them know why you loved it. It's the most important thing you can do to support this podcast and its mission. You can always find more ways to connect with me and this CAA community at awakenedanesthetist.com. And while you're scrolling the website, check out my trusted CAA partners who make this podcast possible, with a special thank you to my Season 5 sponsor, Harmony Anesthesia Staffing. Talk soon.